what went down in the middle of the tournament? KaiR0N's out, Norbert's coming in for the last game.
I mean, like, we just all felt the pressure, and I didn't feel it like in that way because I am not the recent major champion, you know? Like, I'm nobody, literally. So basically, for me, it was fine. Okay, we could lose those games, but we could win next, and there we go. But they felt like so much pressure, and in the end of the day, they just made a decision. I respect it, and like, okay, I just wish them the best, and what they did is fine to me. Okay.
Best esports odds, VIP program and a variety of bonuses, fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22Bet.
Are you tired of your boring old skins and looking for beautiful new ones? Tradeit.gg is your place to go for easy and secure trades within seconds. Simply pick and choose whatever item you want to trade from Tradeit's huge inventory. Verify the trade on Steam, and you're ready. With the lowest fees in the market and a beautiful, easy-to-use UI, Tradeit also offers you the option to instantly sell your items for cash. We accept a wide variety of payment methods. Tradeit.gg is the go-to place whenever you want to try out fancy new skins. Start trading today at Tradeit.gg.
It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. It's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Good vibe, train, yeah.
Hello, and welcome
Hello.
to HLTV Confirmed.
Thank you. You've done it. Thank you, man.
I did it for KaiR0N. He asked for a smooth voice on the show for the whole show. I'm not doing it for the whole show. I'm just doing it for the intro. Hello and welcome to HLTV Confirmed, proudly sponsored by SteelSeries, Tradeit.gg, and 22Bet. Remember to bet responsibly. We're here after a week of break. No one noticed because EPL was going on, so nothing important was missed. No one really cares. But we're back now. We got KaiR0N. We got KaiR0N on the show. We don't have Sponge. We're gonna have more information about that later. We're waiting for a live call-in, maybe a video, who knows, from Chad. Let's just start with Striker. Striker looks extremely busy today. You look extremely busy. What's going on?
I mean, I was just going to point out that you changed shirts since we had a meeting like 2 hours ago.
Yes.
We both had a black t-shirt on, and I'm just curious if you did that on purpose or
no.
just.
But I can tell you. Do you want a secret? Do you want a small nugget of knowledge? I actually did that meeting with no pants on. I literally had no pants. I was just the shirt was what I slept in, and I was just chilling. And now I actually have pants on. Or maybe I don't. Who knows? Maybe there's another secret. And I pulled out a classic Locastic shirt. Amazing. I helped design this. It was just for my stack over there. So I think it's a nice shirt. That was the reason.
Yeah, I am actually busy. Like an hour ago, I just got off of an interview with Simple around the Pro League Media Day with Plows. Before that, we had the meeting. Now I was just talking about like getting new people on. People, have been setting out applications to become new writer. So there's been a lot happening. Yeah.
Your cat isn't that busy, actually. I guess he isn't that busy. Maybe you should ask him to do something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Contribute to the household. It's just like being lazy, worthless little pet, just having fun. That's not how you do it. But it was funny that you said like I had an interview with Simple, because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, we're hiring new writers, and like we did the meeting about that, and then he was like, I had an interview. I was like, okay, you had an interview with I was like, Simple's joining to write news for HLTV. That would be a change.
Imagine that.
I mean, someday when he's tired of playing and owning everything.
Yeah, maybe one day might happen.
KaiR0N, how you doing?
Pretty decent, like usual. I hope that you do fine as well.
Yeah, you're not really that well known guy. I feel like you've been around for very long, and I'm like, we met in Belgrade at that party event. We talked a bit. I'm like, this guy likes to talk, and he has an interesting career. So maybe we could, explore this. And with the BetBoom thing, very exciting team for me, especially. Well, there's a lot to talk about here. So are you excited to talk and like explore, have people hear about your story?
Yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah, let's just go into it. Let's roll the bumper, go into the hot seat, and then learn more about this guy. Hello, we're back. Lucas sent me something and it doesn't work for me. I can't click anything. Let me see again for a second. Nah, it doesn't work. So you'll have to click the things. That's your task for now. I'm sorry. We're gonna give you 0% raise and some nice words at the end of the show for this. Is this okay?
YOLO.
YOLO. We're YOLOing it.
YOLO. Okay.
So where do we start? Like I was going through your kind of HLT profile, looking at the history, and there's
Bro, you wouldn't better not look at that. I mean, like that looks so.
there's
so
like
stupid,
there's like
I don't know.
15 teams that you played in your
Yeah, and like
career.
most of them are like just being a stand-in or like that's it. Like play for one tournament and go away. Just being a standing, being a nice guy who helps the guys you are playing with, like in FPLC and other packs. So basically, it shows like 15 teams, and most of them is like 1 month max. But it's like being a stand-in, not being a real player. So it's kind of. It actually looks like I'm leaving every team like in a month, but it doesn't actually because I basically didn't even join.
Did you have a problem?
You cannot leave a team when you didn't join.
Did you have a problem with that? Like people are like, what's going on with that? Like, why did you?
Yeah.
Quit 15
Actually,
teams?
like many people are asking, oh, okay, this guy's leaving a team in a month. Oh, okay, no, not again.
He's
but
toxic.
Yeah, he's toxic. Basically, that's what I'm getting most of the
it's
time.
like the CV situation when you're applying for a job, and in like every 3 months there's a new job. It's like, what's happening with this guy? But like realistically, now you're 19, and your first like HLTV matches are from about 3 years ago. So you're like 16 at the time when you kind of played your first HLTV matches?
First HLTV match was when I was like 15, like 5 days before my birthday, before my 16th birthday. So yeah, basically 16.
So where does your like competition? When do you start competing? What drives you? Like where do you start with CS kind of?
Not sure where I exactly started, but it was just playing Faceit pugs. And I've played with some guys that were like level 6 like me. And we were just trying to compete and going higher and higher. Just our goal in the beginning was like to get level 10. Then I've got like 3,000 elo, which was kind of a lot. And I started to go for lens, like lock lens in Moscow. Like back in the day, I was like 14 when I came to first LAN. And the funny thing that I won my first LAN. It was 2v2, like retake LAN, like you play a retake till 16. It's like a weird format, but like I didn't have a lot of friends to go with on LAN, so I basically had just one guy and we decided to go for the retake LAN and I won it. And you know who against it was? Just a funny thing.
Is it around that age or is someone older?
Yeah, no, it was the older guy. So it was against Norbert. Like,
okay.
that's just a funny thing.
Did you play with auto snipers or what?
No, we didn't. It was like you could choose like either M4 or AK or AWP like once in a time, So basically you just played M4 against like AK and the bomb has been planted, no nades mostly.
Nice.
There's a guy who's called KaiR0N that just subscribed, literally like the same thing you have.
No, it's a gifted sub. It's a gifted
sub. Somebody gifted me.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, okay. I got it.
Oh, okay.
Nice. That's really nice. Maybe we should do that regularly. Thank you, Liam G, for the gifted sub. That's kind of a classic way, I guess. You start playing pugs, you kind of grind Faceit, you get some more elo. At some point, I guess FPLC, and then that's how you're like you kind of start getting into teams.
I wouldn't say so, because like I had a really difficult like prime time, and I had it like till the end of the school most likely, because I was like studying a lot. I guess you don't know, like, and most of the guys who are like English speaking don't know it. And maybe some of the Russian speaking guys don't know it as well. But like I ended up my school with all of the perfect grades, and it was my
Okay.
goal as well. So basically, I had to study a lot, and my prime time was basically bad to play in a full-time team, or at least in a part-time team. Sometimes
Yeah.
I was coming like 7 p.m. at home, and my only way was to grind pags and play some LAN.
So that's what I heard generally around the time where you're in like the academy teams and stuff like that. Was that like, oh, maybe you had some offers but you turned them down, or like your parents didn't allow you to join a
Yeah.
team, or what is that? Is that where it comes from? Like your parents were like, you need to be a perfect grade A student, otherwise, it's not okay.
I mean, like they wanted me to got a good graduation, but they didn't know what the esports is, and that's pretty basic stuff in like CS countries, let's say like that. Most of them don't know what the esports is, and they just go through the system where you have to go for the education, and then you can go for the job,
Yeah.
And it's kind of like unusual for the people who are a bit older what esport is, and so basically they didn't understand it in the beginning, and I don't blame them. That's kind of fine. And yeah, I had to go for and I wanted myself to go for the good grades. I guess since I wasn't 17 years old, only then like my goal was to go professional, like to be a professional CSGO player. But before then, no, like not really. I just wanted to be good at CS because I liked it, nothing else.
So were you Striker? Did yours?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Were you? Because I know there was some like German part of your story as well.
Yeah, I was born in Germany.
Okay, so but when this was happening, like high school area, that was like you're in Russia at the time, or how was the balance of your childhood? Well, it sounds weird to ask.
So yeah, I mean that's fine. Like many people did ask me on the streams or something. I was like I was born in Germany, and I left there for like 5.5 years, and then every time when we had a vacation with my family, we basically just came to my hometown, or like Munich, which is like the closest big town to my like hometown, which is like kind of small, like 10,000 people population maximum, I guess. So yeah, I was like spending there every single year, like for like 3 to 4 weeks. So yeah, that's it.
Nice. Yeah, I think when I was going through all of these teams, I saw this. It was an interesting mixture. At one point, you played in this team called Portugal, which was actually is like
I
a
had no
Balkan.
Portuguese
I
players.
could explain actually.
Yeah, you played.
That's an interesting one.
And that you actually played in like some Balkan tournaments. Like I was actually watching you at some
Yeah.
point. I think you wrecked some of my friends. I'm like, who
Yeah.
the fuck is this guy, and why is he playing this? This doesn't make any sense. But then you also played for Volsung, which is the Latvian team, and you also played for Budapest 5, which is the Hungarian team. And I was like, what was this? What was going on in this time?
Actually, like I was just playing FPLC a lot. I was grinding to get FPL and study in the same time. And I learned a lot of people, and with most of the people I was nice. I never had a conflict, like say like that in FPL or in FPLC, whatever. I was never bad to the guys, so most of the guys just called me to play as a mix, some tournaments, like some local tournaments. I would actually explain what does Portugal mean. I guess that's weird for most of the people that see it, because that's like, okay, you can see the name Portugal of the team, but you don't see any Portuguese player or like a coach.
Not even close.
Not even close. Yeah, not even close to the Portugal. So basically, what it means, there was a Portugal like a team, an organization from Portugal that named Kick, and Necrogenesis, who was like nice. We were nice at the time, and we are still nice with each other. He got kicked from his old team, and he basically turned the word kick into a Portugal in some way. So yeah, this is the thing.
Basically, so you got Portugal means
yeah,
you got
basically
kicked.
being Portugal, being kicked. So yeah.
That's actually
that's such a convoluted name, man. That's so
I love
crazy.
this meme. It's a really good meme. It's
So
a
yeah,
really good meme.
basically, I've played with a mix after I got Portugal out of VP that called Portugal as well. That didn't have any Portuguese player also. So basically that's it.
The cultural impact of Portugal grows every day thanks to Necrogenesis and Kick. Insane. Yeah, but then after that, you played with a bunch of like CIS Russian speaking teams. I saw for a while you played with Pasha Noj. I think that's how its
Yeah.
name is. And I know that guy was also he's like kind of a semi meme, kind of a semi like Hunden character. What is this guy up to? Because at that time he also played with Zorti. He played with a bunch of like people that came up through the system later on.
This guy is like one of the best guys who develop the players. Basically, he could develop everyone. You know, he did see the potential in players. So it's like a guy being a teacher for every one of us, for most of
Okay.
us. So yeah, I've played with them for like 4 months, and then like Zorti and Kenzie got into the force, and like our team basically disbanded, and so yeah, that was it. But the time that we spent together was amazing. It was my first like true team experience, you know, not being a mix, practicing and stuff and playing. It was actually fun as well because I remember that was the COVID days, and obviously I wouldn't be able to skip my lessons if it would have if COVID would not exist, you know. So I basically went to the online school and skipped all of my studies, all of my classes, basically playing officials. So basically COVID kind of helped me. So it wasn't bad for me.
So was it like second screen lessons on the side and you're just practicing and like writing in, or were you like completely, you didn't have to do anything during the...
No, I was like joining, saying a few words that I'm here, hello,
Yeah.
that my mic works, and then I just mute myself, mute the whatever it was, Microsoft Teams or whatever it was, like Zoom or something. I just muted in and just go play official.
Banger. Love that.
A good system.
What a time.
There's a story. There's a story, man. In that COVID helped me become a pro.
Right. Where are you now? I see some people behind you. There's some activity. What's going on?
That's a bootcamp, like in Belgrade, for like every one of us. We're bootcamping as a team, preparing for Sydney.
A long way away. That's a long time that you're gonna spend preparing.
Yeah, I guess. But if you spend some more time, then you would have something to show on the tournament. So basically, it's not like that that people are, you know, for some people it's just another tournament for the teams that are playing every single tournament because they have some kind of like partnerships. For us, it's just like the time to show up, you know. So we basically have to show our best performance there.
Are you there actually for the whole month, like until Sydney, or?
Yeah, we're gonna be here like until the Sydney, I guess.
Oh, and how long have you been there so far?
Not for a long time, but we were playing like the qualifiers as well from here. So basically a month before, then we had like 2 weeks pause, and then once again a month.
Nice. Let's before we get to the whole BetBoom team, which I think again I was really excited to see come together. Let's talk about VP, and then before VP, there is this. The only thing that we didn't mention is kind of the season you spent in the academy, playing for Spirit Academy. It was, I think you played kind of okay, but nothing really massive came out of that. And like, I wouldn't say you're like a product of the academy system or anything like that, because obviously you're playing stuff before that. You continued after, like it was more like a short period there. And then kind of after that, you just appear in Virtus Pro. That's how I read this whole thing.
Not really. I wouldn't say so.
What happened in between, and how did you get into VP?
Okay,
kinda?
yeah, I could actually explain it. That's kind of easy, you know. After I got out of the academy team, which is like okay, I was like chill. It was like my last class of the school, and I couldn't like spend a lot of time at CS because I had to study for the exams, you know, like in the end of the school. So you could go to university. So basically, I stuck in with the mix, like in the Rare, which is who I've played with a lot of people there. And then we go to a LAN in St. Petersburg, and then we won. And then we got signed by Org. That was Aurora, which is like, you know them right now for sure. But we were like the first roster of that Org, and we got qualified for the RMR. And so basically, we've played RMR. We went 0-3 and we got disbanded. So that was it. But still, we got into RMR, which was a success because we crashed Astralis, who were like top 3 in the world ranking, bro. Like 16-10, and I dropped like 40 frags or something. That was a good one. So yeah. And after we got disbanded, I got a few offers, and then just VP just kind of came out of nowhere. But yeah, so basically that was first happening, you know, in between the academy team and like being invited to VP.
So what do you think overall over all of these like small teams and bunch of tournaments that you played? Where did people start noticing you? What was there a result or a game that was like, or a tournament that you think put you on the radar for people?
I guess that's actually the game against Astralis. Like it was super decent. You know, they only qualified from the 4th qualifier to the RMR.
This was the open qualifiers, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that we crushed them first, basically. So it was like a massive sensation. You know, if we did it like on the 2nd qualifier, which some team did, obviously, because they qualified from the 4th one, it wouldn't be like so much surprising element, you know, because they played on tier 1 tournaments and they did it fine. Yeah. And we're like bunch of no-namers crushing them, and it was super good. And that was like first bootcamp in my life, so I was super hyped, and everyone was super hyped as well. And we like played some decent Counter-Strike, and we had some kind of a hype because we just won a LAN, which was quite a success for us because we played as a mix once again, and we played against some good teams, like for example like K23. They were like ranked top 30 or something, and we won against them. Like it was super insane comeback from 6-14 to 16-14 on LAN. On last map was best out of 5. Best out of 5, last map 6-14 to 16-14. That was
what
like
what is this tournament?
Hype. It's like I'm gonna just send the name in the TeamSpeak, I guess.
I saw this, but I forgot the name.
That's it, I guess. You can find it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess that was it. So yeah.
Nice. And then the VP thing comes, and it's like, first of all, it was surprising for a lot of people for them to all even consider a change, since they are like just won the major, then they had like one bad tournament, and it's like, okay, fuck it, we're changing stuff. And
I mean, like for me as well. Yeah, I didn't even expect that at all.
And then
I mean, I was like, going to university and just chilling, you know.
Okay, so you actually enrolled in university already, and then the VP offer came?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I got into university, one of the best, let's say like that, and then I just got an invite. Like first of all, I got an invite from like OneWin Core, which is like Nickelback, Boomich, and stuff. You know, I was playing with them, and I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna join them. Everyone
that was a rumor, even right?
Yeah,
that was going around.
Yeah. And they were like saying, okay, it's fine, it's good. It's good. And I was saying, okay, yeah, I'm pretty okay for this level, and I'm ready, I guess. That would be a great chance to show myself and blah blah blah. And then just suddenly VP came and asked if I want to join. Of course, I said I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, like that would be a mistake, I guess, to not join him. But yeah, I was thinking.
Even now, looking back, you think that was the best choice?
Yeah, I mean, like I would do it once again for sure. I would do it. It was a great experience, man. I mean, of course, I would never get it.
Let's just walk through that experience, as you said, like coming into VP. We kind of summarize it. You had a lot of like different teams, most of them short term, nothing on a super high level, and then you're coming into like the actual like most recent major winners, which out of all the teams, I think everyone can agree have like maybe not the most structured, but if they feel like the most disciplined team out of all of them. And you're essentially a bit more than a pugger. Like you have some team experience, but like mostly on like pretty short-term teams and stuff like that. So how is that? How do you adapt to that?
Actually, that was not hard to adapt. Like everyone just helped me out a bit, and I was working a lot with coach and stuff. And we even did rewatch my own demos, like from other tournaments, from lower tier tournaments, and it did help me. Like it was fine. Everyone was okay to me, and we were like just. I didn't feel the pressure at all. Like I don't even have that kind of a pressure, you know. Like I don't care, like mostly. So basically, for me, it's like CS is the same game on any server, right? Models are the same. You just have to click once. So basically, nothing changes. So why do you have to be like surprised or something?
Yeah, I remember the interview we did in Kato, which was like your first big tournament with VP, right? And I remember I'm sure you must have gotten a lot of shit for that because of the headline, because you said something like that's like adapting to the tier 1 isn't as hard as I expected, you know, and stuff like that. So I feel like it ties into somewhat to what you're talking about now, you know, that it's not so different.
I mean, like, I just wanted to say you just have to be confident in yourself. It's not like tier 1 isn't easy. No, it wasn't like that. I just like my main like, let's say like that, my main stuff I wanted to say to people that you just have to believe in yourself and like just understand that it's like models are same, you know. You don't have that kind of a game sense like everyone has on like a tier 1, even though you're like tier 2 player, but you could learn it, you know. And like, don't be scared. That's just I wanted to say to everyone. And whatever it is, you know, like if you're like 2 kilo playing against 5 kilo on the pug, you know, you don't have to be scared. It's just the same, you know. You just have to click once.
That's factually correct.
Good advice. Good advice.
I like it. It was fun to read how upset people got in a way, and like especially getting to know you more. You really seem not like the type of person that gets affected by it. There are people that like. I feel like, for example, the Hooksy headline when he came in, it was like, I don't have to shoot anything. And then when people started shitting on him, of course, he's also in G2, which is a lot more pressure, a lot more like fans and everything. But you're like exactly like you're doing right now, sitting at home drinking Coca-Cola, and it's all fine. Like at the end of the day, it is true. Like you just have to shoot heads, and that's it. Like win 16 rounds, you're through. 5 people.
Yeah, sometimes maybe win 13 rounds because something might change, but generally nothing changes. You know.
But when you came into the team, like I feel like VP have this like cycle almost of they have the team, they have like a bunch of players that at some point were like pretty aggressive, but then they turn them into like more passive players. And then they swap a player and add a new aggressive element. And they have just been doing this, I feel like, for the last 2 years. Like first the Akindar, then they had Flit, then they had Fame, maybe not that much. I would say maybe to some degree. Then they added you, then now Mir. Like it's always the guy that they're adding is, I would say, quite a playmaker in some regards. So when you came in, was it also like you kind of had a lot of freedom to do stuff? Or is it, this is what we want from you? You know, do these roles, be here, don't overpeak, don't over, you know, what was the balance of that way?
It was like mostly it was like you said at the second part, like you just have to be here, shoot here, like watch here. That's all you have to do. But if you wanted to do something special and you see like the game doesn't go in your way, you could just ask if you could do something, just to maybe change the line, you know, get a comeback or something, or you feel just the game in the better way than your teammates do. You could call something and ask if it's good, and if they say it's good, you could do it. Basically, it was fine. Like I would say, it was a good balance.
What happened then in the end? Because the way you left that team, unseen, historical, literally unprecedented, like never happened before. What went down in the middle of the tournament? KaiR0N's out, Norbert's coming in for the last game.
And we're talking about major qualifiers for people who aren't familiar with the story, you know.
I mean, like we just all felt the pressure, and since we lost the second game, it was quite understandable that they made that decision that they made, because something was going wrong, and they understand it. And I didn't feel it like in that way, because I am not the recent major champion, you know. Like I'm nobody, literally. So basically, for me, it was fine. Okay, we could lose those those games, but we could win next, and there we go. But they felt like so much pressure, and in the end of the day, they just made a decision. I respect it, and like, okay, I just wish them the best, and what they did is fine to me. Okay.
But
If this was if this was Nerves of Steel, we would call bullshit on this right now.
No, but what is I guess the question for me is why were you like singled out as the problem like that, because that's kind of how it looks from the outside, and that's what people understood. Like people were like speculating, oh, he must have not listened to James' call, or he
No,
didn't
it
do this,
wasn't.
or he
It
didn't
wasn't like
communicate.
that.
Yeah,
No, it wasn't like that, definitely. I mean, we all did same amount of mistakes. We all did play not that well that we should have played, and they just decided to come back to roster that won them a lot of games and won them a major, which is kind of understandable. You know, they just understand that we're not able to win games. So maybe in some way, maybe we just go back and turn the table again and just go again for the wins. You know, so basically that's what I think that was in their minds, but I'm not sure.
but yeah, I think if we're kind of summarizing it, at least from what you're saying here, it's like it seems like a very desperate move from their side. If it was, if that's all it was, right? If it's like, oh, let's go back to what we know worked, even though realistically this team didn't play together for like 4 or 5 months. Like Norbert didn't play with them, so expecting that to work, I think is desperate
Optimistic.
or optimistic or naive. One of these things, which is like kind of weird. And at the end of the day, like I think every analyst or like expert pundit agrees that that was a stupid decision to make. Like this does not work in CS. Like not even it was if he was just like a backup and like traveling with the team and like practicing with you guys, like then maybe. But in this way, it's like it was never gonna work.
I mean, literally
so.
nobody's done that before. So yeah.
I mean, they tried. So
Yeah.
okay.
Now we know you shouldn't try that.
Now we know that you should not try that again. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got destroyed even like in the mouse game, right? And the last one.
But yeah, just talking about VP, before that you played in Katowice, you guys made it to the playoffs. You had like a pretty good tournament, like a 1.10 rating, I think. So that was like kind of a decent start to the team. After that, RMR, like they skipped Rio, then they were like figuring out the roster. Was there ever a chance for you to come back into the team? Like how did that, were there discussions like that?
I actually don't want to talk about it. Like if it's possible. Like yeah, like not about it.
Oh, yeah. So that's the for the biography for like years from now.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, we'll revisit this at some point. At some point in the future, you're gonna come back. You're gonna be like, now I can tell you the real truth about what happened.
Yeah, but what I've said is truth, actually. Like everything I've said is mostly the truth, you know.
No, but obviously after that, then there's like kind of a break, and you're figuring out what to do. Where does what kind of offers are on the table, and when do you get into the BetBoom team?
Actually, when I just got back to the home for like a month and a half, I had no offers. Then it was like a sad period for me because I had nothing to do. I was just streaming, doing nothing. Then I'm not gonna name a team, but I was like invited to play a Dallas tournament as a stand-in or like as like a trial, whatever. And I got no visa, so basically I did not come in, and I was so sad about it. And then I was like, just keep on playing. Everything is possible, you know, like playing every single qualifier, playing every single tournament that is possible, LANs or whatever. So I was just like trying to be compatible even on lower level. It doesn't matter for me because I feel that even like CCT tournament is better than playing Faceit. You know, it's something like compatible. You know, people will be tryharding against you. People will be like doing something, trying to win and stuff. So I was like just playing whatever is possible. You know.
So striker, what team do you think it was for Dallas?
I was literally just looking through the list, and I'm like, nobody there had a stand-in other than OG, but they had Regali, which is an
Yeah.
offer. So I was like, nope.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell it. That's just will be unprofessional, like just
Fair enough.
to just tell it. But yeah, just so I was just sad about it. Just that's it.
Yeah. As you said, as we spoke about BetBoom, this team kind of did this concept exist before Nafany was benched in Cloud9, or was that kind of what inspired the team coming together?
That actually made it, possible. They made it. It actually made it possible to create a team. And it just suddenly came out of nowhere as well. Like everyone just got benched, kicked, or whatever happened to everyone, in our team, and then we just got like assembled our roster. That's it.
Must have come together pretty quickly, because this is all during the off season, right? Because it's like Nafany's out, Siren's out of Spirit, obviously Zorti's kind of like have these considerations for EG, and like is obviously open for offers and stuff like that. You were free agent this whole time, so did it just come in super quickly? Like once Nafany was out, like he just came in and put everything together. Like who was behind the project basically?
I'm not sure. It just it's hard to explain, but I guess nafany was. He just came to me and just asked if I want to join his new project or whatever, and I said, of course, yes, I want to join, because I was like out of options. I had no options, so obviously. So yeah, I was like, okay, let's go, let's try it out, and that's how we just came out with this roster that we have right now.
Nice. So it's essentially Nafany's team.
That's Nafany's anime team or whatever.
2.0.
Yeah, he actually built it around himself, So, but I guess that something would have changed if he did not come. But there was like so many Russian players or Russian-speaking players, let's say like that had no team in that transfer window. So something would have been, even if he would not have been kicked, something would have been.
Mm-hmm. There's someone in the chat is asking, there is that overdrive rumor about KaiR0N to FaZe. I think this was more like a stand-in than to join actually the team. But I remember it was a rumor, and then it was Config standing in, but then he was denied as well. Then they played with Zigzag at the end. What was that? Was that the whole? Did I mix up two things?
I think you mixed up two things.
I think you mixed up two things.
No. This was
the break. Like before he went to VP.
Yes. This was at the start of the year when Rain was having his child.
Yeah.
Was there any truth to that? Did you get asked?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay. So now Overdrive is gonna be mad. He's like, this is true.
Maybe.
Well, he does have quite a few decent ones, gotta say. So
yeah, most like 90% of them, especially like talking about Russian-speaking players, is the truth. So basically, you could believe him. Like this guy knows a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we had who was it last time?
Jerry.
Who was talking about Jerry, who was like, I signed a contract, and then 2 hours Overdrive comes out with like, Jerry, I signed a contract.
Yeah,
like, how do you know?
Yeah, actually, that's usually what happens. This guy like has connections everywhere. He's like an octopus, like just with asking every single person about what you got, about what team you're asking for. Even if you don't answer, he will ask all of your friends. if this guy got something, and like only in the case that all of your friends don't tell him anything, it won't go deeper than your own friends, like a circle, circle of your friends.
So that's the advice to everybody: don't talk to your friends.
Don't have friends.
Don't have friends. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the team, from the result perspective. Pretty decent. I think the IEM Sydney qualification was pretty big. Other than that, you played some CCT. Overall, decent results. There was some a loss to Saw in.
I would not cast it as a loss. I mean, like we lost, but we had just basically our qualifier game for the Sydney and this day, and we just fall asleep at like 2 a.m. and we had to wake up at 8 just to come and play. So basically, it was like not the best performance from our side. I mean, that's unprofessional as well. I think that we did not play our best in this game, but it's kind of reasonable. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna choose an excuse, but it's like not choose your excuse. Why did you play bad? But still, just that was kind of understandable, and everyone who did like open the HLTV matches page could understand why.
Yeah, I think it's people are getting better at understanding. Like, okay, these guys have 3 games today. Like, they're probably not gonna play their best, but at the same time, they look back and they're like, oh, they lost to these guys. They must be trash.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, true.
it's very like selectively finding results and drawing conclusions out of it is very easy. But I would say the results are. What do you think? Or are these good results for the team so far?
Actually,
Does it meet your expectations or like above expectations?
I never have any expectations about my results. Never, ever. Because whenever you are getting lower than your expectations you have, you just draw yourself down deep into a water when it makes no sense. You just have to play and show your best. That's all you have to do, nothing else. Because if you will have any sort of expectations, that would make you feel the pressure. And it makes no sense to have an over pressure when you don't have to. Like, basically you just created yourself. So I'd never have any expectation. But in general, I can say that we're playing decent. Actually, we are doing decent, and we could do better for sure. We could have won all of the matches we've played, like definitely, and that's what we are working on. And right now, we're just trying to stabilize our results. Like, qualifying to Sydney is good, but it's not enough to say that we are like a compatible tier 1 team. We just need to show good on like a Sydney, then qualify for like another tournaments, like for lands and stuff, and grow up as much as possible.
Do you have anything else other than the CCT thing going on until Sydney, or?
Oh, I mean, you basically have to play some kind of a tournaments before you go for a big one, just to understand how good are you and what things work and what doesn't. So if you like, whenever I came to a tournament like with and like that's, I could ask some guys who had some sort of experience. They said if you go to the tournament without like having a warm-up tournament, let's say like that, like which is CCT in this case, you just don't understand what will work and what won't, basically on the practice, just only on the practice. So you just have to like show up, and you just have to you just have to play something just to understand what works and what doesn't. Basically, that's it.
Do you think it's really that transferable even, to the different competition? Obviously in the CCT thing, you're basically playing teams that are kind of around the top 30, and nobody or very few teams that generally play in those that are better than that. Do you think that's still so much transferable to a tournament like Sydney, where you'll play like top 10 teams?
I mean, actually, the skill gap isn't that big, at least for like most of the teams that are in top 20, let's say like that, because in my opinion there's so much like partnership, like part of the partnership is a lot, right now. So you basically get the rating points because you're playing Blast because you have a partnership, and as well the same with the ESL. But ESL isn't like that because you only play like one tournament, which is ESL Pro League, which is fine. But if you're playing Blast every single month, you could get like even if you lose like 0-2, 0-2, 0-2, you get some points. You're in top 20, and those top 30 guys, they're compatible to these teams that are like in top 15 right now, just because of their partnership systems. So yeah, I mean, like that's fair enough. I mean, I'm not talking about like heroic vitality or something, that they're like on like a bit higher level, but some teams are just high in the ranking just because they have partnerships.
Mm-hmm. Here's something I wanted to ask about the new team, and I think a lot of people have noticed this, which was KaiR0N. I mean, he's been doing really well, compared to what he was doing in Spirit. It's not like he was a bad player or had poor stats, but compared to what he's doing now, he's definitely looking improved compared to that. I think he's like the second highest rated player of the team now. Can you tell me about him? Like what his role is? How much? What do you think
I
is
kind of
behind this?
crushed my chair. Just a sec. Okay, I'm fine
No
now.
worries. Can you tell me about him a little bit? I mean, I think he's kind of grown into being at least one of the stars of this team.
Actually, he keeps on playing the roles he likes, and we just did a bit change his roles on T side compare what he did in Spirit. So now he has a bit more of a freedom, and now he can call for himself what to do, and that's why like he's developing right now. He's playing really good, and we, for example, like I expected the same way that he does right now, and that's actually nice to have one of these guys in the team, you know. Even if he's like playing alone on the bomb side, you could expect like 3 kills and like coming out of nowhere saying 0 wars but getting like 3 kills and then saying two more guys, just go clutch, something like that.
What about the Dentists guy? I mean, that's probably the guy that people I mean, I'm sure that's the guy that people know the least about, but just because he hasn't been playing in any of these bigger teams. I mean, his like best team before that was like Boston Crab. So like, okay.
It's actually like my mixed team as well. Like with Railway, we've played some tournaments.
Okay.
That like Railway is like one of
Is
the
there
best.
also a
best
great
friends.
explanation behind the name?
Basically, if you go through the MMA, you know, there's like some kind of a fight. Like I'm not sure how do you call it in English actually. Just something in MMA that calls Boston Crab. It is, you know, like. And Railway did watch MMA a lot. I did not, but he said that's good. That's good name. I said okay. That's pretty okay. Let's go for that. I didn't realize what does it mean, like, but something.
It's a hold.
Maybe
It's like a
somebody
move
knows.
in wrestling, I guess. I
Yeah,
had to Google
most
this. I
likely.
actually had no idea about this until you just said that. But yeah, it's like wrestling hold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about
yeah.
the guy that Dentist?
Actually, that's like most promising talent that we had in our region, I guess. For that didn't show up in any team. I know him for a long time. We did play Faceit since I was like 14 or something. We know each other for a long time. Like, but he did not play with me in any team before. But I knew that this guy would be good whenever he wants to, whenever he will get a chance in the team. So and he's proving himself and doing it pretty decent. Of course, he has like some mistakes because he's an inexperienced player, but it will fix by the time, you know. Basically, experience fixing is getting fixed by getting experience. So
He was pretty sick in the Sydney qualifier and like the last few games that I watched. I feel like even too aggressive, but like no, actually, what I would say, like he has like he overlooks some things, but it works out for him because he's so confident. I feel like he's in that area of like the swordsman that doesn't know how bad he is in some ways, but he has the belief that he's good. So he's like gonna overpeak and swing somewhere, but he's gonna kill the guy, even though he shouldn't. Maybe that's where I think he is right now.
Maybe in some way, but the thing I like that he listens to. We're like most of the times we're playing in the same positions, kind of. You know, we're playing next to each other on a lot of maps. You know, and I will tell him, for example, like on Anubis, I will tell him do this and this. Like we will do it, and it will work. Even if I say like total bullshit, it will work somehow. Even I understand right now. I was like saying total bullshit, but it was working. You know, just because he believes in other teammates and in himself. That's so cool.
Yeah, do stupid shit, but do it with confidence.
Do it with the confidence. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's Flasha classic.
An old saying,
That's
but
classic,
it always
yeah.
works.
Some people are trolling me in chat, writing that CS2 is out, and of course, every time people write something like this, I go to Twitter to check instantly, and they get me. They get me every time.
That's why I don't read Twitch chat.
It's not Wednesday.
I know, but that doesn't matter. Do you think Val cares about anything that they say? They don't really keep their word, so I'm gonna check every time. There's a good question in chat from Varian, I think. He asks, does BetBoom have a coach or analyst? Blah blah. This is something that was talked about, I think, around the Sydney time, that you guys just have 5 players and that's it, and that maybe someone's gonna come in soon.
Not sure if anyone will come in. Like for now, we don't have anyone, not even trialing anyone. We're just having our juicy manager who is sitting next to me. That's the whole stuff we have right now.
Them. That's actually very impressive as well. Like that's a detriment. It's a detriment compared to like all of these teams that have like a coach and an analyst and maybe like 2 analysts or like a whole like support staff of like 5 people, mental coaches and stuff like that. That obviously over time are gonna add up some percentages and are gonna make it just easier for you. But hopefully you can add some people to that staff as well.
Was this a conscious choice at all, or do you just have nobody who you wanted, or what's the deal with that?
Like both, kind of both. You know, some of the guys that we want to come just don't want to leave their current teams. Some of the people that are like free agents, we just don't want ourselves. So basically, it's like in the both ways, you know.
Okay. So it's about the right person. It's not like you don't want the coach or analyst. It's just you have to find somebody.
So we kind of talked about the future of the team. We kind of talked about the whole team, right? We talked about, actually, we didn't talk about one thing. That is nafany from your point of view. As
is he a nafany?
He's no, but like I feel like playing with Jame and playing with nafany are like pretty much polar opposites as IGL style wise. That true?
Yeah, that is definitely true. This, like, I'm getting a lot of freedom that I didn't get in VP, like a lot of it. You know, I could do whatever bullshit, but it's, as I said, if you do a bullshit, do it with confidence, and that you go, you know. Yeah, and if he would say, like, if Jame would said, why would you do that? Like, this is a complete bullshit. But nafany will say, like, okay, you will just go and do it, and maybe it's a bullshit, but if you did it with confidence and it worked, then it's fine. If it worked.
I remember when I was writing about this team being put together, I just remember looking through kind of the entry stats and stuff like that. I mean, there's obviously nafany, who's always been that. Like kind of like almost a pure entry for Cloud9, you know, always making space. You were always pretty aggressive, you know, like going for entry duels, stuff like that. This Dennis guy was like even further than both of you guys, like more even in terms of opening duels in his previous team. Was this at all hard to balance? And yeah, how does that work now?
Actually dependable on the roles, you know. So we're kind of playing the same roles in our like X teams, every one of us. So basically we kind of mixed it up. So we don't have this kind of a problem right now, but we just understand that we have that kind of a potential. Like every one of us, so everyone could go first, everyone could do like some pressure on the map, you know, to let your teammates do something. So basically we just mixed up and it didn't go like in the wrong way, from what I feel right now.
Like every time, it's funny that you were talking about the I don't know if you were talking overpass, but what about like just doing stupid bullshit with Denists? But every time I see or hear of people like 2 of the same aggressive elements playing on the same site, I just have this instant flashback to Fair and Phelps and how they played Inferno, which was like the worst version of MIBR that existed, because like both of them were so fucking ham that they like, there was this match where they just like ran through banana all the way to like middle and they just got killed from behind because they were just like both like not caring about supporting each other or whatever like that. Is there no situations like that where you just have like positions where you both want to push or both want to do something, but it doesn't really work out that way?
Actually it doesn't work like that, because I mean we feel each other a bit better. I think that even though I feel that for example, like Dennis wants to do some bullshit, okay, I will let him do it, but I like will try to cover him and play around him, not like doing the same, basically the same way, you know, like not doing basically the same thing.
Okay, I mean that makes perfect sense to me. I don't know why that never came across the MIBR guys, but
I don't know, maybe they just wanted to rush the enemy and end the game faster.
I feel like that was the against like Taz and those guys, like against Virtus Pro at the time.
I don't remember the specific game.
I think that was a game that was like, this round is everything that's wrong with the team. Pretty funny times. Talking about funny things, I think it's time for Nerves of Steel.
What does I didn't actually understand what does that mean.
There we go. This is our special little part of the show where we have a few questions for you, and you need to answer these questions however you think, whatever you think. but we will judge you if we think if you're bullshitting us or you're telling us the truth. And if you go through all of the questions and we give you thumbs up, we have a headset over here that we're gonna give away to the audience. If you don't impress us and we think you're not telling us the truth, then give people in the chat.
I mean, is that like, what is it about? What are the questions about?
You'll see.
So it's like from different way, in a different way,
You'll
right?
see. We're gonna start slowly, and then we're gonna ramp up.
Fair. Let's go. I'm ready for that.
Let's go. Are you nervous?
Nah,
never nervous.
never ever.
No pressure, no expectations.
Of course. If you never have expectations, you will never have pressure.
Easy. Yeah, let's write SteelSeries in chat to add into the giveaway raffle thing. Let's start with the first question.
Sure.
Who has been your favorite teammate so far?
This is from all teams, right? I think.
From all teams.
Of all time.
Railway.
Okay. What about this guy? Tell us a bit more.
This is like one of the leaders I've played with, like the IGL. We've played for a long time, for a year, like in summarizing. And this guy was always nice to me. And we had like some kind of a same mentality, Just to win, doesn't matter what are you doing. We were like playing that mixed style, like do some stupid shit, but you do it together confident, and that's how we qualified for RMR, And we were like close with each other, so close. So I guess he was the best.
Yes. What's the age difference?
Like 8. Maybe.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. So
yeah, he's like 27, I guess. So it's like 8.
Nice. Okay, first easy question. Now we're gonna ramp up a bit. Question number 2.
Sure.
In your opinion, was nafany really the piece that didn't work for Cloud9?
No, definitely not.
Can you tell us a bit more?
I didn't think so, and I still don't think so that it was the piece that didn't work out for them. I mean, like they went the whole way together, and it was not the best decision to go off of him. Like sometimes people have to go off, but not this guy, and not this kind of a situation, I guess. So I don't think that was a problem.
So you feel like, but for you personally, works out, I guess. Like,
yeah, for me personally, it was like the best way of things going. I'm not gonna lie. For me, it was the best way. But in generally, I don't think it was a problem.
Okay. You happy with that one, Striker?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to question number 3. Did you feel any satisfaction when VP got eliminated from the Paris RMR?
Honestly, a bit, yeah.
Yeah?
A bit, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I did.
I mean, I think that
I feel like who wouldn't like if you get kicked out middle of the tournament, dude, you're like, well, fuck you guys, I guess.
I mean, I don't think there's anything else to add to there. Let's go to the 4th question. Is there any truth to the rumors of you being toxic? By the way, these questions are not written by me. This is by one other guy.
Okay.
Another guy. Sure. You don't know him. He's from
okay. Yeah. Is there any truth? I wouldn't say so. Like I'm not gonna say that I'm like completely untoxic. I might go like fully, fully committed into something, and I might say some bad words, but I do it really rarely. And when it comes, to the like, I just hold everything inside myself for a long time. I'm not saying anything back, even if somebody says like some bad things to me. I'm not gonna say it. But once, like in a time, it might happen. I might go on like fully. And it will happen like once in a long time, and then won't happen again for a long time again. But yeah, I would say like 50-50. But in generally, not really. And I'm only doing this when somebody is telling me something first. Like, for example, on Faceit, yeah, somebody is writing in the chat to me or like telling me some bullshit. I could answer, but I would not start it.
Okay. So do you think like this is what you're describing is like kind of how I operate a lot of times? It's like, there's some shit happening, everything's fine, and then like it just
something rubs you the wrong way.
The smallest thing, and it'd be like, fuck this. I can't. Yeah. I'm not taking it. Yeah. I've learned that that's probably not the best way of dealing with it either. But I wouldn't say it's toxic. It's more toxic to yourself, because like you are internalizing all of this and keeping it inside. It's more toxic to yourself than anyone else.
This is somebody who's definitely gone to therapy, man.
I don't know what you're talking about. I did. But it is true. Like it's important to like communicate things and air it out before it becomes too big of a problem.
Yeah, true.
Question number 5. Explain James' leadership style with 3 words.
Everything by the chance, you know, like by the percentage of a winning.
Okay.
Yeah, percentage of a winning.
By the book.
By the book, perfectly. Then save.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's true. We did save a lot. Like
They
there's
still
nothing
do.
bad. There's nothing bad. There's nothing bad. And like and interest. It was interesting to play in the system. That was interesting, really.
Interesting personalities.
Yeah.
As
I mean,
someone-
like that's something that people are not used to. Like not like how the other teams play. So it was nice to be in this. So
I'm sorry for laughing. You thought you had simple in your mind, right? When you saw
Of course, interesting personalities. Amazing meme. Also the auto sniper meme with Norbert that KaiR0N didn't pick up earlier when I posed that question, but it doesn't matter. It's
okay.
there. People that who knows. That's it. One more. I'm pretty happy with how these questions have been going.
It's good.
We have one more hurdle. You see that headphone there is like it's going like boom, 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 just like your heart rate when you're in a 1v1 clutch after you've killed 4 guys. In the long term, do you think joining an international team is the best choice for you?
For me personally,
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm like I cannot understand. Like I cannot answer the question because basically I'm not sure. I would like to try it, but I've played with as I said, I played with mixes,
lot of
with the
mixes,
European
yeah.
mixes. Yeah, and it was okay. But I'm not sure. It's just like culture differences, you know, and I'm not sure how it will work out. Basically, just because of that, I'm not scared of the language. I can, as you see, I barely could speak English, but I could do it, you know. So basically, I'm not scared of that. Just only cultural differences, and if it won't bother me, then I would go for that. Yeah, I would say yes, but I'm not sure for now what happens.
Do you think this has to do like the cultural differences when people talk about that? Like a lot of people think like it's very important for people to have like common hobbies or whatever, like inside a team at least a little bit. But I think what people refer more to is how they resolve arguments and how they resolve issues inside the team.
Yeah.
Rather than that, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, actually, that is one of the part, and second of a part, what I was trying to explain is like having kind of a same memes, same things to laugh about, you know, to just like spend a nice time together, you know. If you're like don't know what to talk about when you're outside of the game, then it won't make you close, you know. It won't make you friends, you know. So basically, this is the thing that I'm talking about, you know. Anyway, even if you understand it, basically the guys who you're playing with are like your colleagues, but you still need to be good with them, you know. You still need to be a bit closer than like colleagues on an office job, for example, because you will have to spend a lot of time with those guys. So basically, you have to talk something about, for example, on the bootcamp, you know. So basically, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
We did it. We got through all of the questions. We're going to do a giveaway where some names going to magically appear there, I think, or I'm going to get it written to me. This is not my usual job. How does this work, Lucas? And the winner is... The winner is Sadokist's Frisbee. There we go. That's a
but
name.
actually, he deserved it just for the name. He actually did deserve it just for the name, man.
This is
That's
amazing.
That's an amazing name. I have to give it to that guy.
And on that bombshell, we go to a break and come back with some recent news.
Here's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Here's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Here's a good vibe, train, 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 train. Good vibe, train,
Best esports odds. VIP program and a variety of bonuses. Fast and easy withdrawals. Bet on every possible CSGO matching tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22Bet.
Do you want to change your boring old skins for awesome new ones fast, without losing a lot of value, and without the risk of getting scammed? Go to tradeit.gg and safely trade your items within 60 seconds. Just select which items you want to trade from your inventory and choose whatever skin you want from Tradeit's inventory. Click Trade, verify the trade on Steam, and you're good to go. With the biggest inventory available for the lowest trading fees on the market, tradeit.gg is your go-to whenever you want to play with new skins.
And
We're back.
we're
Wow,
almost. Now we're fully back.
Oh, I'm back
Good
again.
job.
When I saw you pick up your phone going to the bathroom, I'm like, it's done. See him in half an hour. He's on the reels.
Well,
He's watching the memes. It's gone. He's not coming back.
It's gonna take some time.
Classic. It's the best part of the day. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, sure.
Who's deathmatching behind you? Who's on the left?
Dennis.
Okay.
Is that's CSGO, right?
Yeah, that is.
It's hard to see from this distance.
But you know what? While we're on that subject, are you guys playing CS2 at all, or?
Not really. We're just going for like CSGO. But as I said, I've played it when I just had some kind of a free days. I've played Face It, I've played matchmaking, and I kind of like the game. But for now, you just have to focus on CSGO basically, because all of the tournaments are still in CSGO. And till the moment is not gonna be, it's not gonna be like official that you have to play only like CS2 tournaments. It wouldn't be useful enough, If it would just, you will just spend time having a nice game. Like it's not, it's like playing Call of Duty. You just play other shooter. It makes you fun, but you still have to come back to Counter-Strike. It's just kind of the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been asking some teams, figuring out who's been practicing. Some teams have started with CS2. I think NIP posted about it on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, some teams are doing it, but it's kind of reasonable if they don't have any upcoming tournaments, So basically, it's understandable. So you could just practice right now. So in a month and a half, you will be like a bit more prepared than other teams that have to play any kind of a competitive tournaments. So basically, it makes sense, but not for us, because at this point, Sydney and like other tournaments that we're in, for example, like those CCTs and stuff, are like still on CSGO. So basically, we just have to practice this game.
When do you think that step is going to happen?
Hopefully as soon as possible. Not sure when exactly, but hopefully as soon as possible. I agree to Sponge that he actually said that it's going to be like only open beta, and when like on the date that CSGO posted on their Twitter, I'm not sure what exactly. It's Wednesday. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure. I think that it's not going to be like
full release.
Yeah, full release. I think it's just going to be like open beta for everyone, and then in like 2 weeks or something, it's going to be like official release. Something like that. Maybe a bit more of time it will take. Maybe more time will be needed, like a month. So something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my prediction too, that I don't think this is the full release. I think they would have said that it's a full release rather than just this, just for people to actually get prepared for the fact that CSGO is going away, because I think that's the big part for a lot of people. And I think even from kind of like how the community currently feels about CS2, I think it's also like they're probably going to want to adjust some of the biggest complaints, before they do that.
Yeah. KaiR0N, can you just move your mic a bit because of the breathing thingy?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Now that you came back, it
I understand.
All good.
Might happen.
All good now.
I think it's fine. Let's talk about the recent news. And that is big recent news is the ESIC thing that they are live. First of all, they're actually doing stuff. That's amazing. And there's the Regin news. That's kind of interesting, but not really, if we're completely honest. But the Joel being suspended for match fixing, his statement coming out, Godson putting out the statement. ASIC putting out a statement, Aaron's putting out statements, everyone's tweeting about it. We also have the follow-up because Joel's playing for Victory Zigzag, right?
Such an amazing team. Such an amazing team.
They qualified for the Blast Showdown, and now they lost him. He can't play, so their coach came in as a substitution, or he was announced as a substitution. And then now he is FACEIT banned. So that's a whole lot of shit around one team right now. Striker, I feel, is really involved in something, but can you please explain what's going on?
I mean, it's just that essentially Joel will be getting a punishment at the moment. He's just suspended, but as long as there's no new evidence coming from his side, it seem to me like he was just going to get the ban for however long it's going to be. The ESIC hasn't actually said the exact hasn't said too much that's in terms of like specific timelines or whatever, how long he's going to be banned for, but seems like it's going to be long enough based on how serious it looks from the way that they were talking about it. I mean, there's not much to say really. They just found some evidence that makes them believe that there has been cases of match fixing, or there are serious allegations of that, at least, that they have some evidence for, and that they're ready to act on, as long as there's no new evidence coming forward from his side. There was a response from Joel who denied all of this and who said that ESIC told him that he wouldn't get banned, that there would be no punishment. But I think that was a kind of a misunderstanding of what ESIC told him. It was more like their way of telling him that there's an investigation going on, rather than that he wouldn't be getting a punishment or anything like that. But it's hard to say what's going on behind the scenes.
That makes no sense. Let's be real. There's no the quote that he mentioned there is like, I wouldn't be banned. It's like, he isn't banned. He is just suspended. So maybe that's what the misunderstanding is about. He's suspended for the time being. There's no way with what they wrote, the evidence that they have, that he is not going to have serious punishment. It is insanely sad to see a person that's 18 that got into trouble before for, like, I don't know, defrauding people's skins and like getting into debt and stuff like that, coming back, getting another opportunity, playing in these teams, and then seemingly doing even worse this time around. Absolutely insane. But at least something is happening about it, so that's a good first step. KaiR0N, how does it feel to see these news as someone that plays in these tournaments where these things happen? How does it feel to read this?
I mean, that's kind of fun, because there was almost no cases, people getting banned, like at least in the Europe, for a long time. No bans like since the iBoy Power one, I guess, like as a big team, or like top 50 teams not getting banned or anything, or even suspended by anyone. It was like the only big scandal when they released the coach ban and banned some coaches that used it on their RMRs and stuff. But that's actually interesting, because ASIC just told us and told themselves that they are alive, at least. Maybe sleeping so while, but just alive. And I'm not sure. Like, I've played against Victory Zigzag on the Sydney qualifier. It was weird. It felt weird, actually, and I cannot say like anything besides that. What about Joel? Maybe I think that the lawyer maybe will fix his issue, and he will be like he will be like unsuspended, like unbanned or whatever. But I'm not sure. I think that he has like some kind of a background, and that isn't really good enough, like frauding people, as you said already. And so you could actually believe that this guy would do match fix. But since you don't have any proofs, and ISIC did not like prove us anything, you cannot say that he's done it. But you know that like many players did play some kind of a weird matches, but nothing else. You just cannot like say, okay, this guy's match fixing just because he did not have his best game. But only I can say, when I played against Victory Zigzag, it was super weird.
I have to say that there was in the original statement that ESIC put out, there was like a reference to him playing particularly poorly, which I felt like was kind of an unprofessional remark in terms of like, what does that mean? That's not an evidence, that's just circumstantial. Who knows what that necessarily means, but they actually did remove it after the fact, so this reference is no longer there. They also amended parts of the statement. It kind of feels like a classic ESIC job where like what you're talking about, maybe he's going to get out of it later, same way Hunden and all these other people that have brought lawyers to help them with their cases have. So who knows what exactly is going to come out of it, but at least it seems like they have some serious enough evidence to be able to charge him with something.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. I just hope people proceed with caution, even if that happens, because that's the saddest thing is when you have people that are sus as fuck in these like tier 3 tournaments, and they still get into like decent semi orgs or whatever. It's like, how is this happening? What kind of upside is there for gambling on this kind of a guy that's like had weird cases in the past? So we'll see. It'll be interesting. We didn't get any response from Faceit regarding what's going to happen with the team and the showdown and everything. Like, can they use a different stand-in? What's the future? Yeah, what did I say?
It's a Faceit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he was banned on Faceit, so my brain went to the wrong direction. I have no clue. I saw also the bubble statement that's like, oh, I don't know what to believe anymore, what to do, blah, blah.
But I actually saw on the Twitter that one of the guys that did just join a team that Bubble was playing in just posted that some guy like Dookie, who is banned on Faceit for cheating and stuff, just got messaged to him and like told him that he could help him, like in some way. So that's weird, like, and I'm not gonna like say that somebody is a bad guy. No, I'm not gonna do it. But that's at least weird, like. And since I saw that, I could say that it's a bit more weirder than I thought,
Yeah, let's move on. We'll see what happens more with this case and with this team. The next bit of news that we have is actually about our recent guest on the show, Jerry, who his team was announced 1 week later than he promised. Striker.
I should talk to him about that because I did talk to him on the behind the scenes for a moment.
He said September 15th. It was September like 23rd or something that his team was announced. Disappointed about everything else, but team itself also not that crazy. I feel like a bit underwhelming from generally what we would expect from Jerry. The team is called Pari Vision, so it's sponsored by Pari, the betting company that also did the tournament recently. And they have the following lineup, which is Jerry, Xe Power, so the reunion from Fours, Belchonok, Steamguard, and Raijin.
Bro, this guy is my best bro since we were like 13. Yeah, Steamguard. We did not play in a team ever.
Do you know how you pronounce that nickname? Or like,
bro, it's just X5, nothing else, bro. This guy just randomly click on his keyboard and just that's how he assembled his nickname. So basically, you just called him X5. I basically call him by the name most of the time.
I think is he okay with the whole Steamguard situation?
I mean, he's just laughing about it, and that's kind of fun, That makes you, that gives you some kind of a media space, just basically because of your name.
Yeah.
And if you will go to the major, that would be like everyone would be laughing like Steamguard got a sticker, I think like they have a real chance to do it, and so that would be like a meme that everyone would laugh about. So.
Do you think, you think they can make a major with this team? What are the expectations realistically? Because I think a lot of people believe that Jerry can do something good, but the pieces don't really seem that impressive. Like, it's all of the names that we kind of saw for a while. Who is going to step up on this lineup to be like the star of this team? Who's going to carry them?
I'm not sure actually, but I guess Belchona could. He's like, from what I know, he's gonna play like some star player roles. Maybe he will like carry the team, but I'm not sure because everyone in this team is like, I would say, something like on the same skill level, maybe somebody less, somebody more, and they could just grow up together as a 5, you know. Maybe, of course, Jerry is like, I'm not taking Jerry at this part, you know, like I'm just taking the 4 guys who are like next to him, you know. They're like playing at the kind of same level for like a year, so if they would grow up together, that would be good, you know. You don't have anyone who is less experienced or something like that. You just have a guy who's leading the charge, and the rest who is just trying to follow.
Yeah, I mean, XA Power has a good amount of experience from the Force days, and obviously with Jerry as well. So I'd say those two are probably going to be the ones that this is going to rely on, right? But they still need one of those 3 guys to be a star, you know, at least, and those other 2 not to do too badly. So there's definitely, yeah. I mean, I'm curious about that too, because you know, none of those 3, you know, Belchanok, Steamguard, whatever, X5, Ragin have been like in any big teams. You know, it's like K23 and Nembiga, like it's teams we've seen on the top 30 level, but not doing super hot, like showing some insane stats or anything like that. So depends how this all comes together.
Yeah, it's like all depends. Nobody knows how it will go, but you know, the time will show. If they will roll, that will be great.
Yeah, we'll see. I'd love to see them succeed, but out of all of these like CIS teams, not super excited. But at the same time, maybe 1 or 2 roster changes can change it. You know,
I mean, like
change
me too,
the look.
basically, because my friends are playing there, so basically I wish them the best, you know. So I wouldn't say anything bad.
Except when they play against you guys, then.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
The next topic that we have from the recent news, not that many recent news, not really a lot of things, even though we didn't have a show for 2 weeks, is the blameF extending with Astralis for like 2 years, year and a half.
Yeah.
Until the end of 2025. So
2 and something, yeah.
2 and something. Okay, 2 and something little, which I think is just good, not really unexpected. It seems like they kind of have their trajectory, their lineup kind of looks set right now. Obviously, changes can always happen, but it seems like they have the identity of the team, which is like blameF and Device, and then building around that with Stair as a good signing. I don't know, where do we put this? Is it any surprise? Is there anything to talk about here, or is it just let's move on to the next thing?
I mean, like I would just say that blameF is such a beast. And that's it. And
There we
Device
go.
is a beast as well. They have a good roster, and I wish them the best. You know, that's it. Nothing
Yeah.
else to say.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, even like in terms of his options or whatever, like especially now that Heroic are in a place that they are like kind of stuck at the moment, and Astralis are on the upwards trajectory instead. So unless they're like some like international team would come in and say like, we want you blameF, I don't think there's any reason for him to change. And I think he's happy enough, you know, where he is.
I mean, like he's top 5 in the world. What team could go? What team could come? You know, like
I mean, that's my point. You know, at this point, now that we see Astralis being on this trajectory where okay, they're at least looking like they could be like a stable around the top 5. Maybe they're not going to be like title winners all the time, but they can compete for that, at least compared to, you know, the previous, let's say, 2 years. So I think that's this was a good time.
It's actually kind of funny because like Heroic is 4th right now, Astralis is 5th, and it's like, oh, there's only 1 spot, but there's like
300 points difference.
Whatever,
it's like 300 points difference.
It's a huge gap there.
But it's actually kind of, I think this must be the closest those two have, like Heroic have been to losing the Danish number 1 for a long time, no? It must have, I mean, I would have to look through the stats. Maybe there's like a period where Copenhagen Flames or something were high enough, but I don't think so.
No, not in a while. But we'll also see after EPL that gap could shrink a lot next week, essentially, because of the whole tournament finishing and all the placements coming in, and depending on Astralis' placement, they could gain a lot. I don't really think winning the tournament is realistic, but
getting into the semifinal would be the great result, I think.
Have to remember where they are in the bracket. I looked at it last night and this morning, but that depends a lot on where they are placed. But that's
actually, I found the time that they will. It was actually last year, kind of
after Cologne.
This time last year after Cologne, Astralis were really high up, and Heroic had just changed to Yabi, and so and they bombed out of that tournament. So for the few months after that, Astralis were actually quite a few spots above Heroic.
Yeah. I guess then the next thing is to get into the VoxPop, which kind of will lead us.
What's that? I have EPL. One question once again.
Let's actually do that later, because that's essentially asking asking the populace what they think, and we asked them about Cloud9 and their result. But I think we can talk about that in the EPL thing, and we can move to the Skinionaire, and then we can talk about EPL from there, because we have one more quiz for you, and that is 5 questions EPL related, just to kind of set us up for the discussion about the Pro League. If you answer them, depending on how many you answer, we give away a bigger, better, nicer skin,
Okay.
and that's it.
Not to you, but to
the audience. So Lucas, whenever you're ready, just bring it up, and let's start with the first question. This
must be fun for you now that you're not actually doing these.
It's so much better. Saves so much time. Who wants to be a Skinionaire? Question number 1 for KaiR0N. You have 60 seconds to answer. And the question is, which teams lost in the upper finals of Group A, B, and C? Was
Like,
it
is it like this year's Pro League, right?
Pro League, yeah.
Pro League. Was it Astralis, FaZe, and Mouse? Was it Astralis, Fnatic, and Big? Or Movistar, FaZe, and Big? And you can also click it on the link.
Okay, I'm gonna open the link then, sure. But I definitely remember that Movistar Riders did play in the final of the group. They beat Furious. Basically, I will answer Movistar.
Yeah,
there you go. You can click on the thing.
Good logic.
And the answer is?
I guess the Movistar is the correct.
Yep. There we go. Easy.
Quite
Question
easy.
number 2. What's the prize for winning EPL Season 18?
Bro.
203
How, man? How
or
do I answer
400,000. And
I mean, that it has a big prize pool, right? But it has a lot of teams playing it, right?
yes.
So it has to be either 3K or 2K. I would never believe that it's 400K actually.
I can't even help you. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say I would just randomly click on like 200K, whatever. Let's go. Just
I think it's gonna be the middle one, but I'm not
200K,
sure.
okay.
Let's see the answer. There we go.
Wait, what?
Easy.
It really is?
That's very low.
I just did
It is
randomly
200K.
picked up.
What the? Okay.
I expected 300K, but like I just clicked it.
Yeah, I thought it was 300 too.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Question number 3. You're going 2 for 2 so far.
Quite good. What's the maximum number of matches the team could play in the group stage of the EPL? Okay, you have to go to the semi-final, then you like upper bracket, right? 1-2 games, then you have to lose. Then you go where? Oh my god. Then you have to
You're
go
going to
like
the lower final
4.
after
Then you play lower final, right?
that. Yeah, and if
No.
you lose that, you play 2 more games.
No, the 2 more.
Yeah.
I guess it's
I think
it's
you're
like
on the right
6.
track, man. I think it's.
bro. You're trying to scam me, yes sir.
No.
You'll never
I'm
go
seriously
into
trying to
the-
help you. I don't know the answer to these, so I'm actually trying to help you.
I would say 6 because you have to play like 2 in the upper bracket, then you win 1 more in the lower, then lose, then get into the last chance, then play and play again. So it's like 6, I guess.
Yeah,
like
you
in the
locked
group
in
stage.
6.
Yeah, I locked at 6.
And the answer is?
Because I played it once. I might understand.
I
I'm
think
not
you're
sure.
right. I think you're right.
I didn't go down. Like I just got lost in the final of the group stage. Cloud9, as far as I remember, on EPL.
Yeah, there was
but yeah.
there was no triple elimination until now, right?
Let's see the fourth question. With a rating of 0.78, who of the following players is the
Bro,
lowest rated at
Come on,
EPL?
answer is done. Go. I'm ready.
He locked in Hobbit instantly. There's Norbert, and there is Minio. The answer is?
Bro, of course I'm right. that was the easiest one.
That was kind of shocking performance there for Hobbit.
Yeah, that's why like I know it, because everyone is like spamming that this is a shocking performance and blah blah blah. So basically that's why I did answer that.
Let's go. Last question. Can we lock in the $50 skin?
Who does Hoxie?
Who does Hoxie torture in the recent skit from ESL? Is it Henry G, Sponge, or 1K?
I basically have no idea because I'm not watching the streams that much. Okay, Sponge is on the boat. Maybe he's chilling just because Hoxie did something to him. Maybe in some way.
Maybe that may be correct.
let's say Sponge, whatever. I locked in Sponge.
What is this? The answer is
Fuck.
what the?
How
It was
lucky.
Sponge. It definitely was Sponge.
It was
I have
Sponge.
some audio
Cloud9.
issue.
All right, so you got 5 out of 5.
5
Didn't
out
even
of
need
5.
help.
Let me find the winner.
I'm back.
Yep.
I'm back.
There you go. Nice.
I guess it only happened to me, but like that music from the Skinionaire, it transformed into just one beep. It was just like
Jesus Christ.
beep
Bad.
for like 60 seconds. I'm like, I have to kill this because I'm gonna die. Good job, winner. Black KKK. Not any no frisbees this time. No drama. Just a guy. Congrats, and you'll be reached out to, so you can figure out what you want to do with a skin, or it's actually, I think it's a voucher for the amount, but it's the same. So this sets us up. Talk about EPL, and we can continue talking about Cloud9 whenever, Lucas, you can. You can just bring out the results of the poll for VoxPop, because the most recent, biggest kind of shocking result is that Cloud9 went out of EPL, and not only went out, but they went out in last place.
6th to 7th, actually, but
not in last
pretty
place.
much.
They won the opening game against Eternal Fire. Then they lost to Complexity 0-2 pretty handily on the second map as well. Then that was in the upper bracket. The lower bracket, they played against Liquid. They lost 2-1. Kind of a decent game, I would say. 16-11, 16-14, 16-12. And then they went to Last Chance, and then they got smashed by Eternal Fire on Vertigo, and then close game on Overpass. All in all, yeah, the only team that finished behind them was 9. Also disappointing, but for Cloud9, it's a different level of expectations that we have.
But actually, like, if you talk about 9, you will never forget this miss from Hades, bro. If I would miss something like that, that would be so disgusting. I mean, I feel bad for this guy. This guy's a nice guy, but that was unlucky.
It was also like he moved. Like, I think he's getting too much. Maybe he was getting too much shit for that, just because, like, I don't remember who he shot at, but like there was like just the slightest movement just as he was about to shoot, and like the boat almost basically went through him. You know, like it was so close.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those rough ones, especially because he played well to that series, and then you miss one shot and you're kind of fucked. But it is what it is. We asked on the Twitter sphere. For the VoxPop by 22bet, we asked, why do Cloud9, what is the reason for Cloud9 struggles? And we got the answers from the people. People say 10% individual form of the players, 20% role changes. Great work on this graphic, Lucas. It's amazing. It's definitely correct. It definitely looks how it should look. But 20% say role changes, 10% individual form, 45% IGL/coaching, and 20% they need more time. It's actually Dimitri, but it doesn't matter.
Actually, just tell him that he's awesome. Awesome graphics over here.
I mean, it looks nice, but
the
it's not
10%,
really...
the 10% is a little
the 10% is like a bit more than 10%, but it's fine.
But people are pointing fingers at IGL/coaching. Is this are we in agreement here, Striker? What do you think?
I mean, it's really hard to put a finger on it, because I think, like, if you put a team together like this, maybe you don't want so much structure, just because you have so much firepower that, like, you don't want everybody to be too limited in what they do. I don't think it's a coaching issue. I don't think it's an IGL plus coaching issue. I think it's just the whole system overall, because I don't know what it is about them that is not working, because, I mean, they basically got slotted in the role, like old roles that Buster and nafany used to play. So it's not like the plug and play is so different, you know. Maybe it could be with the IGL then. I don't see that Groove. Like, I wouldn't be putting fingers at Groove for this, just because, like, you can. There's only so much you can do from behind in such a short time, you know, because it's still been a month and a half since this team was put together. So I don't know. It's so baffling to me because I had such high expectation from the start. Even I was like hating on you for being like, I have no expectations of this team for Cologne. I'm like, how can you have no expectations? This is like the most perfect replacement you could possibly imagine. It could be leadership. I don't know. It's hard to say if the players have such a hard time, kind of slotting into the vision that Electronic has. We had this interview with Groove where he was pointing out that like they have now maybe too many voices. He didn't necessarily say too many voices, but he said like there are too many stars to find the balance like so easily, and there are too many voices to find the right opinions like in such a short time, or like to find the solution to the balance. So I don't know. I do think that is in the end the core issue. But the longer this keeps going, the less confidence there will be, the worse the players will be individually, and then the CS2 switch will come in, so none of this will even matter. So I feel like it's almost doom already. No matter what happens in the next month, even if they kind of starts looking a little bit better, it's not like they actually in Sydney. I don't remember if they're playing Sydney.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, potentially even if Sydney is still CSGO, like unless they win that or something, like none of this matters. Like it seems like Cloud9 is just gonna like the 2 million, or if that's even true, that they spend on these two players, that's just gonna go out the window.
I'm not sure if it's even like CSGO. Like nobody says anything. So basically, for now, it has to be CSGO. But I'm not sure how it will be in the end of the day. So
Yeah, I mean that depends
nobody
on what
knows.
happens this
Yeah.
Wednesday,
Nobody
right?
knows what Valve will say. Like it's like a magical thing. Like you'd never know what they do because it's unpredictable. Because this
Yeah.
company is basically unpredictable. But if they do something, they do something, and you have to just to adapt. You just have to adapt. You don't have to do anything besides that. It won't fix anything anyway. If you're gonna tell them that you're doing like some kind of a bad things, they won't listen most likely.
Yeah, I mean
So
that's
basically you just have to adapt.
but that's the problem with the timing of the move that they did. That just they put it in this weird period where they have to figure out what their problems are in CS:GO. But like before they do that, there's probably going to be the CS2 switch. Like I don't expect the way that they were playing this month. I don't expect them to fix everything in 3 weeks and just suddenly become this beast. Like I just don't see that. Like not with Hobbit playing this way. I mean, it's not even just Hobbit. Like Shiro and Exile are just not looking. Shiro is still putting up some crazy numbers sometimes, but still he has some of these games where he's not looking like the old Shiro as well. Exile has had problems from the start. Now looked a little bit better, but it's just not enough because Electronic's not putting up the same numbers as well. But that tells to me that like it's a system problem. It's not just one player. Like if everybody falls off, that means it's a system problem. It cannot just be on Hobbit. It cannot just be Electronic or Exile. Like it's everybody. Like just something in whatever if it's communication or just Electronic has a different idea of how to play the game. Everybody has a problem with that. I don't know what it is exactly. Like you have to be inside the team to understand, probably, but just it's not working for them to play off of the individuals because the individuals aren't putting up what they need to. And what the reason is for that is hard to say.
I think, yeah, when you look at the team, Shiro has like the peaks that he would have, but I think his consistency is way off. Like he had very bad games, which he like rarely would have usually. Exile is like half of the player he was under nafany. It's just factually how it is. Like he did have issues in the past in some like bid games and stuff like that, where you would look kind of off, missing, making some mistakes. But now it's just like any game, you don't really see the same level from him. So it's weird. Like it felt for a bit there that like Perfecto was finding like a key role that he didn't have in Navi. That he had like a bigger, more important role on this team.
I mean, he's been playing out of everybody. He's been the one that's surprised, at least. Maybe not necessarily here in Pro League. He had a pretty rough time compared, but outside of this performance, I think he's been the one that's performed above expectations, if anything.
Yeah. So essentially, you're striker. You're agreeing with the people, with the men's out there, that it is kind of a system, and the system comes from the IGL/coach. That's where it needs to start. And then everything else, like obviously the form isn't great. Obviously some of the roles are different, but like this is the most important thing to solve.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I was skeptical about the lineup, I wasn't skeptical about the lineup. Like for me, it also seemed like a great change, and like the nafany versus Electronic versus Hobbit, like who to replace in that thing, it made sense to go for Electronic nafany directly, because of the role overlaps. And Electronic was like, I want to lead. And there were obviously leading issues in the past with this team, but it doesn't seem like it is fixed. And it's not a surprise. It's a classic like hindsight captains, right? Captain hindsight. It's like, oh, obviously it's going to take more time. Obviously they changed half of the team, so it's gonna end the IGL, so it's gonna be difficult. But like when I was saying it, then no one believed me, and everyone was just like, it's gonna work, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work right now, and it's I don't know. Roster changes don't make sense, even though there's some rumors about some teams looking at roster changes. There's no fucking point of doing roster changes right before CS2. That's it's just a fact. So that's why everything that's happening now is kind of like well, it sucks, but what is the point? Like all of the results at EPL is like, this kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? Like, what
but anyway, there's a next tournament on the next game, so we don't care, like,
yeah, I mean that's the point. Yeah, like, and the problem is like, how do you, like, if you're a team that's like trying to build for the future, like it's impossible. Like you cannot build for the future. It can literally just play, like you can literally be just in the now. Like you cannot try to ramp up like, okay, this is when CS2 is going to come out, and like until then, like this is the point where we'll switch or whatever. No, like everybody's just have to be in the now, in the present. Nobody knows what's going to be the next important thing that they have to play, whatever it is. They can't really set any realistic goals because, okay, if they don't win this tournament, then there's going to be the next, but who knows if that's going to be in CS2. So like you don't even know how your team is going to transition over to that. Like everything is so hard to plan for at this point. Like it's impossible. You just have to look at the present and what's going on, what you have in front of you.
Yeah, that's actually true. And like the only thing that I just want to happen, it's just to not for them to not feel that big of amount of a pressure, because everyone was like hyping this lineup like so high, like everyone was so hyped up when they saw this lineup first time, and right now when it doesn't come to the sort of the expectations that everyone had before everything started, I just don't want them to the pressure to break them down, just because of it. Like this is the most important, to not break down themselves, If they want that will be like total successful roster, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people did essentially say this is like the best transfer ever in CS. So it is a lot of pressure. Let's talk about other teams. I think the way we can do it is maybe we each pick like one team that is interesting to us, like for a good or a bad reason, and we just talk about them, and then we can talk about like the playoffs and what we think is going to happen, because we have like 20-ish minutes. So let's start with you, KaiR0N. Which team was interesting from EPL result wise, or something that you saw from them? Anything that kind of
Eternal Fire? Sure. I mean, like for sure, they've lost the land in Serbia in like 0-2, losing to like tier 2, tier 3 teams, like like to just brand new Forza lineup that just did come up, with kind of a no-name players for like the most of the people that are watching CS, not out of the like CS region. They've lost to somebody else, I don't remember who exactly, and now they just come up. They basically 2 weeks ago they basically lost to like top 70 team out of CIS, and now you just crushed the best team that everyone is saying like that they are the best, like in the same region, like. So basically I respect that, like they're cool guys.
I mean, yeah, I think this Vicaria kid.
Yeah.
What I saw from him.
I've played a lot of FPLs with this guy. This guy is nice.
Is he always this insane?
I mean, like his aim was like on the top level, but like we're trolling each other, with some bad of Turkish words, and that's funny. He's trolling me with some bad Russian words. I troll him with Turkish words, and also we're like good with each other. So, yeah.
He seems. I can see that. I don't know why, but I can see you trolling him. That's in my brain. It makes complete sense. I'm very impressed. Like he seems. His aim is good, but it's also like good decision making, good like finding the space, peeking, like playing to win the round, not just being like scared of something. Like actually, he's gonna push a smoke, he's gonna hide, and he's gonna like do stuff in key rounds. So it's not. obviously as a rifler dropping like 30 bombs on Cloud9 and like on Liquid. I think it was on Liquid as well. Like
Yeah, he did that on Liquid for sure.
He was playing insane. So I'm just very impressed, and I'm happy that the team came together and that they found a new player from Turkey that is good, because they've been kind of just recycling the same players and like
they just stopped it. Plus X flood, minus X flood, plus X flood, minus X flood. They just stopped it finally. Plus pass, plus Armor, minus Armor. They just finally stopped it, and I'm happy for that.
It's actually it's just a silly story even to look at this Eternal Fire roster, because they had almost the same lineup like a year ago when they were at EPL, and they played kind of well, and then they kicked Major. Then Major went like retired again, went to Valorant. Then Voxic left the team. Then Major unretired, came back from Valorant again. Then Voxic rejoined the team. So it's like, okay, now you have the same players you had before. Cool. Like, what's going to be different? But it actually works, and it's interesting enough. I don't think like Voxic did that much. It is Xantares, and
he had a few games though. Still,
yeah, it is this Wicadia kid. It was 18. He was in the Eternal Fire, and I just think that like the calling seems really good. Like they seem to be outplaying teams regularly.
Yeah, but I mean that's actually impressive. You know, you especially like I mean the Xantares thing and Voxic, they could have played in the European teams and be like on the top level, you know, and they just decided to put themselves into developing your own scene, you know, and like Vicadia is just the first fruit of this system, you know. He just came out of nowhere, you know, like they were just playing some packs with me and like playing Eternal Fire Academy, and now they're trying to get themselves into esports country, like say like that, like Turkey into esports country, and I respect that, you know. They've spent a lot of time for that, and even though they're not like getting the top results, they're not winning like tier 1 tournaments, I respect their way. That's cool actually.
Yeah, and I mean Turkey has a massive fan base. Like it's always like Eternal Fire specifically. Like I mean they have a lot of fans. Like people may not be aware of this, but yeah, and they're pretty crazy. I mean it's just like one of those passionate like fan bases, you know, that it's just like you see all the time.
It's like being guys like being you know, like the same way, kind of.
Yeah,
maybe just about the passion, you know.
Yeah, I mean the team that I wanted to point out was, I think it's pretty obvious, Complexity. I mean, they just should have won the group. Eventually, they just threw away the 15-12 lead or something they had against G2 on the second map. I'm not necessarily sure if it's sustainable, because I don't think Floppy. I think this was like the biggest peak of Floppy we've ever seen, like ever since, you know, Complexity started kind of like even put this team together.
Yeah, this guy had an insane group stage, like super insane.
He had moments like this, like in the old Cloud9 roster, you know, when like the core of this basically played under Cloud9 and there was some different teammates, but he was the one who had like the two key games that they won against Cloud9 and G2, and then like Grim was filling in the gaps in a couple of them. Then there was Halzerg, who had the good game against 9. So I feel like, you know, from an individual standpoint, I don't see this happening again like this, but like it is great to see, because like this is the team that we kind of weren't sure where they were heading. Like Unleash was an obvious improvement, but they had horrible results after he joined, even though his stats were pretty significantly better than Fang's, and like 1-for-1, this seemed like such an obvious move, you know. So it's good to see them have a good results already, you know, like you know, their third tournament into this lineup.
Yeah, that's actually great.
I mean, for me, outside of Complexity, I don't think I have much to add on them. I think you kind of nailed it.
I might have one more ask. Like, I'm not sure who they won against, but Movistar Riders, they just suddenly came out of nowhere once again. Like every single time they just come out of nowhere, play on LAN, play good, and then just disappear again. Like that happens like in a weird way, but they're good, you know, like on LAN they're winning like some decent teams. Like I just remember that they were ranked like top 80 team when they came, and they just got into playoffs like from the upper bracket.
I mean, they beat Furia and Gamer Legion in 2-0s, which is like two teams that are kind of like top 15-ish, top 20-ish now. But it's not like, it's obviously like two teams that I mean, Gamer Legion ended up making it to the playoffs. Furia were like lost the last match, right, or something like that. I don't remember now. But yeah, I mean that it was a pretty solid run.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I remember what tournament was it, like before the last major as well, when we started playing when they were like ranked 80th in the world, just lost to like
They were
my
like ranked
grandma's
5, I
friend.
guess.
The last game online was like losing to absolute no namers, and it's like now we're on LAN instantly 2 times better. So they also did recently roster changes in the off season, so that does take some time to
Yeah,
like
and I mean they won the
cook a
Melbourne
bit.
tournament after that as well. So it's not like they've been completely off the radar,
Yeah.
or like just after that, or just before a couple of those changes. I don't remember now.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
like whenever just they come to land, they're just playing better and better. Like
It was
2-3 times better than
it was
usual
that
in online.
event in Malta, I think, where
Yeah,
they
it was the CCT Online Finals, the first one.
I think so. Was it, or was it something else? It was CCT. Yeah, when I remember it being like one of those fantasy games where where it was a Mopo's quote or it was like an Alex quote. It was like we just came to win one map,
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
they like went
That was
all the
Alex,
way.
I think.
Bro, I just wanna like say one thing. You will never understand what CCT is. Just so you know. That's only what I wanted to say.
What do you
You
mean?
were like, oh, what CCT? What CCT? You never know what CCT
Oh
is.
yeah, because there's a million CCT tournaments.
Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
right,
like
right.
that's just the thing I wanted to
Yeah,
add.
but this
Nothing
was one
else.
of the big ones at least. It was the
Yeah,
the only LAN
okay,
finals.
fair.
That is absolutely true. I never know what CCT is, and it's just like this continual, I don't know, like a never-ending cycle of just like tournaments that's going on that people win or don't win, but doesn't really
It doesn't make an
never
impact.
goes anywhere.
Yeah,
It's like you won a CCT, let's go. You remember the guy that wins. Everything else that happens in the tournament completely forgotten. So
Yeah,
it's like
true.
some insane, delirious nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
like
to be fair, I mean, this is
only the guys who win those tournaments know that they won. Like nobody else knows.
yeah, but it's still important, because it's a lot of it's like a lot to play, and a lot of
Yes.
opportunities for teams. So it's still really important in the tier 2 scene, But it's just so much of it going on that you just don't separate one from the other.
Yeah.
It's like in some theory you'd want this to be like a continuous league that makes sense and like adds up to something, and then there's like a season final or something, but that doesn't work because like if this was ESEA, people drop out, make changes, there's so many rules and stuff like that is proven to not really work. And this obviously works better because it's just like single elimination, or it's like Swiss, you play a few games, you're out, then you play the next one, you're just like always finding something to play instead of waiting around. But yeah, I think one more team to talk about, and then we can just preview the bracket quickly. We also have the pick'em thing on HLTV now that we could actually use. So Lucas, if you can prepare for that, so we can do it, I'll link you this. I think the team to talk about is Heroic, even though they play Group B. They're in Group B. They started with a loss to they won against Rooster, and then they lost to Big.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then
I mean, there's almost no teams that would have lost to Rooster in the best out of 3
Yeah.
on this league. I mean, like, no offense, but
that is true. That's completely, yeah, as you said, that's, you don't even count that as a win. They lost to
Yeah.
Big, they lost to Mouse, and then they were eliminated by Monty. And this is their first time not making playoffs in like since that Cologne, practically. The only thing that was similar was when they had a stand-in at the World
When
Finals.
they had config,
Yeah, so I don't really count that as this lineup. Only the first tournament when they added Jabby, and now did they not go through to the playoffs. And this is not even not going through the playoffs. This is practically, as you said, KaiR0N, this is practically finishing last. Like beating Rooster does not count as a win in this kind of it is what it is. I'm sorry, guys. It is concerning. Like I've heard some of these, I don't want to say like it's not reports. Is it even rumors that they're like trying out other players, that they might like change something? Is this realistic? What do you think, Striker?
I feel like it's not, just because like why, again, KaiR0N put it pretty well. Like why would you change now? Like what's like how do you know? Like how do you know who's going to be good in a month's time in a CS2? Like there's no point. Like unless you really have a problem with a teammate. Okay, let's say whatever. Like I think that. Yeah, exactly. Like but I mean, for that to happen after these guys have been together for however long, like at least a year for Yabi, right? A year and something, and then the other guys have been together for at least 2.5 years now, I think. that lineup has been together. So after all that time, for suddenly there to be some like interpersonal problems or whatever that would cause somebody to just take them, for outside of the server issues, I don't see that happening. And so inside the server, do you really want to kick somebody like literally as CS2 is about to come? I would think they would only do that if they really saw like some like massive improvement in the lineup and like a really young hungry guy who's like just the next shit. Like it's so obvious that they should get him, like otherwise they're missing the boat. They're on somebody. But these like ideas of them getting Dupree, like or something like that, like I would not understand that. Like really you would get a 30-year-old guy who's kind of past the zenith into a completely new game where you just have to put in a lot of hours to understand it properly. Like this is nothing to say against Dupree, but like looking into the future, that doesn't make sense. Like I don't think that there's any logic behind that.
I mean, like my opinion is like they only would make a change if they have like a conflict inside the team. Like this is the only way, because there's no point to change anyone right now. Like what is your point? Like you would never know, even if you have like this guy who is young and hungry, blah 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 blah. You would never know if he would be good in CS2. Like it's just a randomizer, like it's kind of a randomizer. Of course, he will spend a lot of time, but you will never know who will be like the GOAT, like of CS2. Like Simple did, like he just came out of nowhere, like and then turned into a CS GOAT. So basically, you never know. So it doesn't make sense right now. Maybe after half of a year, but not now.
Yeah, I think we had this conversation in the chat, in the news chat or something, and Harry brought up a good point. It's just like after a couple of months, if you see like somebody like shoot up in the face, it's matchmaking, whatever, and like they really got CS2, and they understand it properly from the start, then maybe you can get somebody, once you see like some like young hot shit, who just like destroys everybody and face it, I can see that, but not now, like preemptively. I just don't, I don't see it.
Let's talk about the bracket. Let's do a bracket prediction. Lucas, you can bring it up. It's kind of small. Maybe we can zoom in on the top part, like top part of the bracket. We can do that first, and then we can do the lower part, and then we can do the finals.
Sure.
Let's let me just open this because I can't see anything. Where is it? Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready, guys.
Looks perfect.
How do you want to do this? Just do predictions. We start with start the striker. You give me your thoughts on the first game, and we talk about it a bit, and then we do the whole line thing from there. So Fnatic, Monty, and then into complexity, and then vitality.
I think that this quarterfinal is probably the hardest of them all to pick a winner of, because I mean I didn't have like big expectations of Monty, just because I still haven't been super sold on the Bro edition and like how more like the Boros loss rather than who they got to replace him, because it's just pretty much impossible. So I wasn't sure, but they actually did pretty well in the Pro League. I'm just catching up on who they were. They beat Heroic, right? Right, yeah, they beat Heroic on the way, and they had that close loss to Big at the beginning. So I feel like it's like two teams I haven't been sold on in recent times, and I don't know which one of them is better at the moment. But I would go with Monty now.
Well, do you agree, KaiR0N?
I would just go with the Fnatic. Like this is, as Striker said, this is like a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah.
And I just like the way Dexter is IGLing. Like I'm the weird in this case, but like I like this guy IGLing. Like nobody likes it, but from what I see, this guy is smart as fuck. So yeah, I would say Fnatic will win.
Yeah, I was liking the Mezzy uptick in performance since he's not an IGL. So I'm gonna lean towards Fnatic, but also it is number 15, number 14 in the world right now. So let's take Fnatic for this one. Going to complexity, Fnatic complexity. I'll just continue since I'm talking. I think complexity, based on like the form that they have and that they just have been playing, I think that would carry them through. That's my thinking right here.
I was thinking the same, with the logic that they literally just play this group, so it's not like they have a 2-week, 3-week group break, before they play the playoffs, and like everything goes out the window in terms of form. You don't know what players are in form and stuff like that. I like that a lot. I like complexity.
Yeah.
Actually dependable. I'm not sure. It, like as you said, it depends on the complexity form. And if they just wake up and understand, oh, I did not sleep well, oh, something did happen, that might not work, you know. Like, so basically, again, it's a 50-50 matchup. So I would say complexity. I just want them to win. I don't know why. Like, just
Cool.
want it.
Cool guys. They're giving the thumbs up from KaiR0N. And then they play
Then
against whoever
just put
plays
Vitality.
whoever plays here, Vitality win. Like there is
Yeah.
no
Yeah, there's no
reason-
options.
There's no reason to pick anyone else. Okay, so we're going into the second thing, and then we have Astralis Eternal Fire. I think
I mean, we
this-
should give it to Astralis, right? Even if
Yeah.
Eternal Fire
Yeah.
did well, like I think Astralis have been looking too good recently.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're good. I just want EF to win, but the Astralis are gonna take it. Like, if we take it by the percentage.
Yeah. Same against Big, I would say. Even though Big
Yeah,
kind of
true.
impressed in the group stage, I do think.
I mean,
this
it's
is
mainly
kinda-
it was mainly the heroic win, and then like it's hard to say how much of stock to put into that, right?
I mean,
just because
they-
heroic
they've
looked
got-
off.
Yeah. They've got like an interesting wins against Monty and Heroic, but I still think that the Astralis are better at this point. So I would say Astralis as well.
And then finally Astralis Navi. This is interesting.
I
don't
would
know
say
if
Astralis again. Like,
I don't know if
honestly.
I would get baited by like Navi's group because they went undefeated. They went 2-0 against FaZe. Like they form wise, they look better. Is it enough to offset everything that's happened so far? You know, and they like the last match they played against Astralis in Cologne, they got eliminated by them, I think. In the top 8 match, like in the deciding match, I think. Or set the little bracket.
But
Maybe that was part of it.
You know, like I will say, like, I'll mention something, but they've played like Cyclone Apex before the matchup against FaZe, you know. So basically they just played like only against one like top tier 1 team, you know, like not like top 15ish, like just against like full tier 1 team that everyone knows as a tier 1, you know. Like Apex are like the guys who are cool, of course. They played good as a major and they played good playing good at general, but like they're not the teams that is going to win these trophies, you know, like on the tier 1 scene for now. Maybe they will. Maybe they will prove me wrong. I will be happy with that. And like Cyclone, of course. Like these are just the guys who are from other region, just coming to EPLs once a year and maybe crushing someone, maybe not. You know, so basically that's just one match. Maybe FaZe did not feel good as well, so it might happen every time. So basically, you should not get baited by that, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was thinking too. But like Astralis should be favorites, I think, by the book. But I think it is close.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah. So where are we leaning? I'm also not sold on Navi because I don't know that I think they had the easiest group out of all of them.
That's fair.
It is fair that they still won it, so that's cool. They did what they needed to do, but I don't know. I feel like this is a really hard one to call.
I mean, I would lean Astralis.
I would lean Astralis as well.
Yeah, I would lean Navi, but fair. Let's see the lower part of the bracket then. Astralis Navi, Vitality Astralis. I think
mean,
that's
should
still
give
a
it to
Vitality.
Yeah.
Still Vitality.
Vitality, yeah.
So Vitality to the grand final. And then on the lower part, I feel like this is the easiest part of the bracket.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
Pro
like,
is easy.
Virtus Pro, then again VP.
I would say
Like,
too.
that should be like quite easy.
And then
an interesting match.
Interesting game, yeah. Especially VP against Movie, definitely. And then Ents against VP. Not sure about this one. Like I'm definitely thinking Ents have the upper hand, but VP have been looking better recently. So I think it's gonna be like a nice 2-1. The upper hand here for VP, if they come here, is they've been playing the last 2 weeks of games, and I think that could give them a lot in the server. That's what I'm
It's gonna
scared
be like 3 days in a row,
Reds.
right? That they're gonna play actually even like.
Yeah, and they played this last group as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there could be something to that for sure. Actually, no, there's going to be a day off between. They're going to have Thursday off and then play against Ents, but it doesn't really matter so much. But I mean, like, it should be Ents still. Like, they're not also very well known for having like slow starts into tournaments or anything like that. So I'm not too worried about the gap that they've been playing.
Yeah, so let's put putting Ents still.
Yeah, I would be
Virtus
putting
Pro,
it-
Virtus Pro first, and then yeah, all good.
Cool. And this is kind of a tricky part of the bracket because it seems super stacked, but at the same time, Furia has not been super impressive. Mouse had like a weird stint there. FaZe also. But
They've
overall,
been weird for a while.
Bro,
still
losing to Victory Zigzag isn't good for any team. Just so you know. I mean, like,
But then they also lost to like this Swedish mix
yeah, I mean,
slash whatever.
yeah, but they could have got tilted. Like, I understand how it feels, like playing against a team that you 99% you're sure they're cheating. 99%. But bro, you are getting amazingly tilted by that. And so that's the way they could lose to like this Swedish mix. Like, I
Okay.
swear that could be it.
I am.
Oh, I
I'm
totally
leaning
forgot the
towards,
Furia were actually in the playoffs. Then
I'm
they
leaning
made
towards.
it.
I'm leaning towards Mouse. Like I'm
Yeah,
really
me too, actually.
not super
same.
excited about Furia so far. Okay, and now we have FaZe Mouse. Mouse versus Budget Mouse.
Mouse versus budget mouse? Maybe meant like face versus budget face?
I
or
don't know.
something?
How are you? What do you think? Who do you
Okay,
think is winning
fair.
this, KaiR0N? This is where I need your expertise.
Face, I guess. Face is gonna win this.
Okay.
I mean, like they just won last ESL Pro League. They know how to do it. They're like used to it and blah blah blah. For Jimhut, maybe it will be like some kind of an uncomfortable situation because he didn't play a lot of LANs before. Like this is one of his first tournament as well, and they have like new style because Yuhi just came in as well. Like not just came in, but like just a couple of months ago. And FaZe are stuck for a long time, you know. So I would say them.
I will say I'm
Okay.
not super sold on FaZe, so I wouldn't be like if we want to pick an upset, this is the one.
Yeah, if you want to pick an upset, then yeah, of course. But yeah, that could be the one.
Like we've been going kind of like middle of the road, the kind of like the more obvious choices, and I feel like this is where the upset potential is high.
Yeah, true.
You want to pick Mouse?
Yeah.
Striker? I want to pick Mouse too.
Okay, sure. Then let's pick Mouse. Sure.
I think I would still pick G2 over either of them after that. So
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Actually, true.
Then we have the obvious top four, which is never going to happen, of course.
Yeah.
But Ents versus G2. I'm feeling Ents. I don't know.
I'm feeling Ents as well. I'm feeling
Ents this season until
I'm
CSGO.
feeling Ents winning this Pro League. Not sure why, but like I just have some kind of sort of feeling, you know, just randomly, just random one.
I mean, last time they played, it was super close, right? G2 Ents.
Yeah.
And then
it
this would
was
be
super
like a
close.
final.
Was a Cologne final.
Yes.
Actually, it wasn't that close. No,
I
it wasn't
wouldn't
that
say
close.
it's close.
It was pretty,
yeah.
pretty
But then
obvious, actually.
they played Gamers 8 as well, the final against Vitality, right?
Oh.
So it'd be a rematch of that. I think this is where we leave it. This is good. We never do the final prediction.
Fair.
This is a pretty good pick. Actually, you can do something just to lock it in, Lucas, whatever you want. But overall, nice. What are the chances we got everything correct? Like 1%.
It's like, wait, how many matches is this? 3, 6, 9, 12,
So many.
15 matches.
What did you expect, bro?
So this
CPL.
is 15 to the second power, or is it the other way?
Let's go math expert.
It's the other way, isn't it?
I have no idea. All of my knowledge and degrees are evaporated through watching Counter-Strike and excessive alcohol consumption. Do not recommend it. Guys, let's wrap this up. KaiR0N, you've been a great guest. I think people have enjoyed you. People said really nice things in chat.
I
actually haven't
looked at chat, but
What?
1 in 33,000.
Oh, that's a good chance.
Yeah.
But no, people are impressed by your English, first of all, and they said like, great guest. We should have it on. We should have it on. I can't talk anymore. This is my
yeah.
2
I
hours
feel
in.
kind of same. I mean, like, I just want to thank everyone that did come to listen to me and like to the Strike and Professor, obviously, and thank you for the chance to be here. That's always nice to talk about. It doesn't matter with the cameras or not. I just like to talk, as you said. So basically, thank you for the chance, and thanks everyone who was here.
Amazing. Nothing more to add from my side. thanks to the sponsors that make this possible. Traded GG, providing the skins as usual. SteelSeries with nice headsets, very very comfy, enjoyable, wireless, the best headsets in the game. And 22bet, gamble responsibly. 22bet also support our fantasy, which now I have lost the lead in the Celebrity Fantasy League, so I need to step up my game. Machine nailed everything and is out of nowhere the best. So great times. I had a great time, and now I'm gonna get some food. Enjoy your afternoon or whatever time it is when you're watching this or listening to this. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Best esports odds, VIP program and a variety of bonuses, fast and easy withdrawals, bet on every possible CSGO match and tournament, as well as any other esports game. Only on 22bet.
Are you tired of your boring old skins and looking for beautiful new ones? Tradeit.gg is your place to go for easy and secure trades within seconds. Simply pick and choose whatever item you want to trade from Tradeit's huge inventory. Verify the trade on Steam and you're ready. With the lowest fees in the market and a beautiful, easy-to-use UI, Tradeit also offers you the option to instantly sell your items for cash. We accept a wide variety of payment methods. Tradeit.gg is the go-to place whenever you want to try out fancy new skins. Start trading today at Tradeit.gg.
It's a good vibe, trend, 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 trend. It's a good vibe, trend, 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 trend. It's a good vibe, trend, 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 trend. Good vibe, trend.